Hello and welcome to another session of Fit Essentials. I am Shauna and I'll be taking you through class today. We'll start with our disclaimer and then we're going to come to our feet. You're about to engage in intense physical activity. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to perform any movements or activity that exceed your current physical capabilities. Participants with injuries, high blood pressure, chronic health conditions, recent chest pain, or that have any other condition that may limit their ability to participate in this activity should consult their physician or healthcare provider before proceeding. Morning, Diane. Great to see your smile. All right, crew, let's go ahead and come to our feet. And then we are going to be making our way to the floor after a little bit of warming up on our feet. So if you need a yoga mat or anything around, go ahead and get that prepped. All right, feet just underneath the hips. We're going to do 3 cycles of our breathing, get ourselves grounded here, get ourselves centered, palms in front of the chest. Feel free to close your eyes if you know the drill. We're going to breathe in nice and deep. As you fill your lungs with air, reach up to overhead and exhale. Drop the arms down to the side. Fantastic. Twice more. Breathe in, elongate, fill your lungs with air. And exhale. Our breath is our guide to get us centered and grounded. Once more, breathe, stretch up out of your spine. And exhale, relax. Very nice. We're gonna pull up through the core, balance on one leg, hold onto a chair or counter as needed. We're gonna wake up the ankles a little bit. So practicing some balance, rotate the ankles around. 3 to 5 one way, and 3 to 5 the other. Just make a note that your shoulders are stacked right up over the hips and the hip is staying level. Fantastic. Same thing other side. Pull up, center yourself, lift, and roll that ankle around. 3 to 5 each way. Very good. Fantastic. All right. From here, we're going to start with some seal jacks. So palms out in front of the chest, stepping out, opening the arms, stepping in, close the arms. Step and close, step and open. So you can do the stepping version here, or if you want to add a little hop, you can do some hopping. But don't feel like you have to rush into that. Just get some blood flow here, shoulders back and down. There you go. Good. About 10 more seconds. All right, from here, I'm gonna have you mirror me. So I'm gonna go left for you. Right foot steps forward, left foot steps back. Take your left arm, reach it up to overhead. Engage that glute and side bend. So you're bending towards your front leg. Just kind of gently pushing and pulsing the hip forward on the back leg. You can add your other arm to it if you'd like. Bending to the side, stretching out that side body. And back to center. Go ahead and pivot directions. Same thing other way. So we'll start with one, hinge the hip, reach that arm up. Other hand can be on the opposite hip. Stretching to the side. Shift the hip forward, again, reaching. You feel good to add the other arm, stretching up and side bend, opening up through the hip flexors. And relax down. Very good. Next, we're going to go into a pause march. So lift up to the core, opposite arm, opposite leg. We'll do this one more time through. So if you want faster, we can go faster next time. For now, we're pausing. So hold. Yep. Practice that balance. There you go. Lifting up, gripping the toes down. Hips stay square. That's it. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Couple more. Fantastic. Either regular jumping jacks or our step jacks here. Nice. If you feel your body's warmed up and want to hop a little bit, some of you are choosing that. Otherwise, just continue to step. Breathe. Fantastic. 10 more seconds. 2, 1, and come back down. Either repeating that march. Now we're going to punch across the body, Or if you want faster movements here, you're welcome to run in place, driving your knees nice and high. Otherwise, exhale as you punch. Knees are staying square, arms are reaching across the body. Fantastic. Couple more. 2, 1, and come down and relax. Walking the feet in so they're just underneath the hips. Toes are pointing straight ahead. Slight bend in those knees. Let's go hands behind the head. We're going to bow forward. Fire those glutes as you stand tall. Long spine here. Sending the hips back. Push through your heels. Fire the glutes. Couple more. Hinging over. And up. Twice more. Bowing forward. And stand. Fantastic. From here, we're just going to start with some lateral movements. So depending upon your space, you're going to just step out nice and wide, step in. Nice and wide, step in. Out and in. So 2 to 3 steps each direction. Just kind of like a little quarter squat here. Very nice. Heels planted, chest tall. Fantastic. Couple more, come back to center. Very good. From here, we're just gonna leave my head cut off for now, it's all right. Let's go left foot out, heel down, toe up, slight bend in that right knee as that heel's planted. And now we're gonna just say hello to the hamstrings on each side. Bow forward, fire the glutes, stand tall, between 3 and 5, and then we'll switch sides. Sending the hips back. So similar to what we just did with the double leg, but now we just isolate that single leg a little bit more. Over and up. Let's get one more there. Over and stand. Fantastic. Other side when you're ready. Check in with your posture. Stand up nice and tall. Bow forward. And you'll feel it when that hamstring says hello, so don't judge how far forward you go. If you do happen to be really long in your hamstrings, I would just recommend not going beyond about 90 degrees, but not the time to be competitive here. Just being patient, over and up. Couple more. Long spine, straight up, last one. Very good. And then we're gonna go back to our lateral walks. This time we're gonna add a squat to it. So you'll step out wide, step in, step out not quite as wide. On that second one, that's where you're gonna send the hips back, chest up, starting to warm up that squat. So a wide step, step in, and then a medium step to send the hips just outside, or feet about hip width apart, warming up the squat. Good job. We're gonna spend about another 30 seconds here. Again, wide step, medium step, and that's when you dip into that squat. Heels planted, knees driving out. Be patient with the warm-up. Sinking back, and stand. Fantastic. Couple more. All the way up. And last time, we're going to make our way down to the floor next. Back, and stand and smooth. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to step my feet just outside the hips, reach down for the floor, and start to gradually walk yourself out. We're going to come down to hands and knees to start. Once you get down here, we're going to check in with the wrists, warm them up a little bit. So if you're okay to kneel for a second, we're going to roll those wrists around, 3 to 5 each way. And then we'll place the hands, palms down, fingers towards you, and just gently rock yourself back and rock yourself side to side. So you'll feel a nice stretch in the forearms. When those forearms get tight, it changes how the wrists can move around. You've got about 9 different bones that all make up these little tiny bones that make up your wrist. So when the muscles get tight around it, it kind of impacts how the wrist can extend and so on. All right, so once you feel warmed up well through the wrist, whenever we place the hands on the floor or even on a chair, think starfish hands. So wide fingers, place the hands underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna kick one leg out to the side And then you're going to gently rock your hip back towards your heel. So right now I have the foot on where my toes are turned under. You can also have it up on the toes, rocking the hips back and rock forward. So we're looking to open up the inner thigh on the outstretched leg. 3 to 5 here, and then we'll switch sides. Got one more. On this last one, you can even kind of walk your arms across away from the leg that you're stretching and add a little bit of a lat stretch into it. So it's almost like a child's pose variation, stretching the side of the torso. And then when you're ready, same thing, opposite side. So extend it out to the side, gently rock the hip back, and rocking forward. Again, 3 to 5 here. Smooth breathing. And on that last one, if you want to walk your hands away from the side you're stretching, rock back and just feel that stretch into the side of the body. Hold and smooth. All right. From here, we're going to come back to center and start to open up the mid back a bit. So hands underneath the shoulders. We'll go one hand behind the head. Bring the elbow to meet the opposite elbow, and then you're going to lift up out of that bottom arm, lifting to the shoulder, rotate, peer up towards the ceiling. Elbow to the opposite elbow, lift up and peer over that shoulder. Let's get 5 on each side. You can coordinate the breathing where you breathe in to close and then exhale as you open and stretch. Get all the air as much as you can out of the lungs, get a little bit more ability after about 5. Same thing other side. Remember, starfish the hand, grip those fingers down. That activates the arches of the hand. And then we'll rotate for 5 on this opposite arm. Breathe in to close, exhale to lift and open. Couple more. Remember not to sink into your support arm, so lift up as you rotate. Let's get about 1 more here. Very nice. When you finish that, we're going to come down onto your side. We're going to move into a quad stretch. So supporting up on the elbow, outstretch one leg, grab the foot, pull the heel back towards the glute. We're going to hold about 20 seconds here. And just check in with your arm. Is your shoulder rolled forward? Try to roll it back. Keep it square with the hips. 2, 1, and relax. Pay attention which leg you're stretching. So I'm on the left. We're going to go onto our backs before we roll into the opposite quad. So set the shoulder blades back and down. Start with your feet flat on the ground, but divided. So I walk my feet a little bit wider than the hips. And just nice and gentle here. Drop the knees down, bringing them back up to center, and drop them to the other side. With control, think about like if your legs are windshield wipers, or just waking up those hips. And then as you're moving your knees, you can kind of activate your lower core. So you can pull the belly button in, try to flatten your low back into the floor versus allowing it to arch. And as you drop them down, it comes off the floor a little bit. And again, as I switch sides, I pull that lower core in, flatten the back to the ground. You can either stay here or bring your arms out to the side like square crow arms, knees up and together. And now we'll move into a 2-knee twist where you bring both legs to one side, looking over the opposite shoulder. Again, as you pull the legs up and across, find that lower abdomen. Use your lower core to pull the low back flat to the floor as you shift to the other side. Peer over the opposite shoulder. And let's get about 2 to 3 times each side, not looking to rush it. Just kind of hang out there as it feels. Sometimes you'll get a nice little adjustment through the low back. Other times you'll just feel a gentle stretch. Very nice. About once more each time. If you've had enough of this, you can move into a double kneaded chest where you just hug your legs into the chest. Like so, hugging them in, outside the knees or such, swing them side to side. So just stretching out that low back a bit. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that other quad. We're gonna get to it. But before we head to that, we're gonna do a few glute bridges. Activate those glutes, feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart. Pull that chin in as well. And then just nice and gentle, push the hips up and forward, fire in those glutes, waking up the backside, up and down, up and forward. Let's get about 5 reps here. Looking to hold anywhere between 2 and 3 seconds at the top. Couple more. And you want to find your position for this and what works best for you. If you're a little bit tight in the low back, you might experience some pinching as you extend the hips up. If that's the case, then just drop the hips down a little bit. If you're feeling good in the low back, then just focus on how open can I get my hips to go? How much of the glutes can I fire? Open it up and then relax. Very good. Go ahead and make your way to the opposite side. Again, I was stretching my left quad. So if you were the same as me, now we're going to move to the right. Or if you were opposite, find your left. All right. Stack the elbow, grab the foot. Shoulder blades back and down. Don't worry, he's not sick. I just gave him a good hard workout on the bike. So he's my husband, if you hear him in the background, he's got the post-workout cough when you go so hard in the cold weather and your lungs start to get irritated. And relax. Very good. Once you finish that other quad. All right, folks, we're going to stretch the upper body just a hair more, and then we're going to make our way into our first piece. So we did those quadruped rotations. Now we're going to just do a child's pose stretch. So toes together, knees divide, reach your hands out, drop the hips back, and drop your head between the arms. And you're going to take a nice deep breath into the back of the rib cage. As you exhale, see if you can drop just a little bit closer to the floor. Breathe in and out. Once more, nice deep breath in and all the way out. Fantastic. Take your time making your way out of that. And we're going to go into a down dog as we make our way to our feet. So you'll place the hands underneath the shoulders, turn your toes under, drive the hips up, lightly pulse the head between the arms. So I call these down dog pulses. Rock forward and rock back. Not that I named them, but we call these down dog pulses. Forward and back. After about 3 of those, go ahead and pedal out your heels. Get a nice stretch for the back of the calves, back of the legs. All right, very good. All right, we're going to come on up before we come back down to the floor. So our first circuit today, we'll start on the ground with either a forearm plank, where you're on the forearms, holding for upwards of 40 seconds, or you can, if you're confident to hold for 40, you can advance the movement into what we call a plank shoulder tap, where you're going to alternate side to side for 40 seconds there. From the plank, then we're going to go into either an overhead press, or you can include some squatting with the thruster. So let's go ahead and make our way up to our feet, make sure that our squat is warm and our overhead position. All right, so let's go ahead, warm up a couple overhead presses first. If overhead is tough for you, you could do this just even without weight or with a band, pushing up, elevating through the shoulder, elbow comes forward on the down, all right? So it'll be 30 seconds of a left arm press. If you want to do a little bit more advanced movement, then we'll do a thruster, where you're going to set the feet about hip width apart. You'll squat to start the movement. As you come out of the squat, you'll push to overhead. So you'll sink back, stand, and drive to overhead. After you go 30 seconds on one arm, well, about 10 seconds in between sides, you'll do whatever you do on the first side on the opposite arm. So either that strict press or with the squat to overhead. Your choice on how challenging you want this first circuit to be. So once again, it'll be 40 seconds of the plank, 20 seconds to transition, 30 seconds left arm, 10 seconds rest, 30 seconds right arm, and then we'll have about 40 to 45 seconds in between sets to transition through. Any questions on that? All right, if there are no questions, go ahead and make your way back to the floor. We're gonna start with those planks here in 10 seconds. So I'll demo that plank shoulder tap. You can also hold that forearm plank. 2, 1, and here we go. If you're choosing the shoulder taps, practice to have as little movement as possible between your hips and shoulders. So you're really engaging, gripping the fingertips down. We're not focused on speed here, but control. So I even pause with my hand on the opposite shoulder. Those of you that are holding the plank, just continue to lift up towards the ceiling. So I lift between my shoulder blades so I don't sink in without piking the hips. Good job. 10 seconds to go. Keep breathing. And 2, 1, and transition. Fantastic. 20 seconds transition. We're making our way to our feet. We're going to start with the weight in the left arm. Or at least I am. If you would rather start on your right, start on your right. Ideally, if you have one side stronger than the other, start on your more challenging side. 2, 1, and here we go. Either the strict press or with the squat. Sinking back, driving tall. Chest nice and tall, heels planted if you're doing that squat. Great breathing, fantastic. This is round 1 of 3, so pace yourself through it. We want to have similar rounds, or you can always go slightly faster. 2, 1, and switching sides. Making your way to the other side. Set the feet, chest tall, and here we go. Sending the hips back. If you're squatting, knees push out. Focus to keep the ribs down so that you don't arch your back as you push up to overhead. Very nice. Sink back, drive tall. 3, 2, 1, and transition. Fantastic. We'll take 50 seconds off, so go ahead and grab some water, and we'll make our way back to the plank. Oops, and that lid's not on, right? It spills all over my mat. All right, everybody. Let's go. Looks like you're all down there about ready to go. Let's go here in 10 seconds. Back to either the forearm plank or those plank shoulder taps. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Very nice. Yep, that's good control, Sharon. Nice job. See less sway than the last round. Remember to grip those fingers down. On that forearm plank, just keep lifting right between the shoulder blades and watch the low back as well. We'll often see people start to go into an arched position. So hips up. 10 seconds to go. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. 20 seconds off, then we'll be back to that thruster or overhead press on the left. You can go the same weight you've been using, or if you want to go a little bit heavier, completely up to you. Set the feet, and 3, 2, 1, here it is. Sinking back, drive tall. Breathe. It's called a thruster because the last quarter of the squat, the idea is that you thrust your hips, fire them open, push up to overhead. Fantastic. Driving the knees out. Breathe. 2, 1, and 10 seconds between sides. Good job. Those of you doing the thrusters, that will get the heart rate up. 2, 1, here we go. Hips back, chest tall. Find a spot straight ahead to focus on. I've got a little rock in my windowsill that I'm focused on. Good job. Heels stay planted as you sit back, straight up to overhead. And 2, 1. That's the end of 2. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna keep this group moving a little bit faster. 20 seconds till we start set 3. This will be the final set. If you need more rest, then give it to yourself. 10 seconds. Last set of planks for the day. Either on the forearms or place the hands right underneath the shoulders. 2, 1. Here we go. Especially as that breathing is elevated. Focus on good positions. Nice. There you go, halfway through. And then just pay attention, especially those of you doing the shoulder taps. The support arm, you want to have a little bit of play in that elbow, meaning it's not hyperextended. Continue to breathe. And 2, 1, transition. Making our way up to our feet. Final round of overhead press or thrusters. All right, pick your arm that you start on. Place the feet about hip width apart, slight toe out. 2, 1, here we go. Looking straight ahead. Yep, and the weight's on your shoulder as you descend into the squat. Then add the last part, that's when you drive it up. So even though it's kind of resting on the shoulder, still stay engaged, meaning push up against it. Nice job, almost there. 2, 1, and switch arms. Nice job, couple nice deep breaths. Place the feet, and here it is, opposite arm. Well done. Halfway through. Fantastic, 10 seconds. And we'll do a little bit of stretching before our next circuit. And 2, 1, rest. Awesome job, grab some water. So I can grab one that won't spill all over me. All right, we're gonna open up that upper body with a behind the back stretch. So place the feet about hip width apart. Oh, nice deep breath, interlace the hands, extend out those elbows. Have a little give in those knees, either stay here, or if you feel good for it, bow forward, hips back, arms come up to overhead. And whether you're standing or in that forward fold, I just like to kind of rotate my torso side to side, find any tension. Very good. Let's shake out those arms. Arm swing side to side. Fantastic. We're getting ready for some deadlifts in this next piece. So we're going to warm up what we call a Jefferson Curl. Feet are in just underneath the hips. Toes straight ahead, palms on the thighs, chin to the chest, with a little bend in the knees. Slide the hands down the legs. And this will be the only time that we focus on rounding the back. So just as a stretch, rounding through the back, but still staying engaged in the midsection and legs. And then this is where you want to take note. Can you touch your ankles? Can you touch the floor? Are you at your shins? Okay. And you're going to use that as a guide for when we're doing the deadlifts, on whether you come all the way down or switch hands about knee height, okay? So we're gonna be doing 45 seconds of a deadlift, alternating arms. If you'd like to do a high pull and you're familiar with that, you can. I'm gonna be demonstrating just the deadlift portion today, which is right here. The high pull, would be where you stand and finish that elbow up above the shoulder. So if you're using a little bit lighter weights, you're a little bit more experienced with this, then by all means. Otherwise, we'll be alternating arms for 45 seconds. And we'll set the weight down, and we're gonna go into a lateral step over. Knees up and over. You can actually step over your object or just have an imaginary hurdle. Or if you prefer to have a little bit more rebounding, you can rebound side to side, get a little bit more lymph flow going. That'll be for 45 seconds. We'll cycle through that. We're gonna go 2 rounds of that this morning. We'll build into it. Any questions before we get started? All right. So if there are no questions, you can either have, if you have like a dumbbell, it can either sit down on the floor if you have good flexibility, or one way to shorten the range is to set it up on its side. If it will sit up a little bit taller, then you don't have to reach quite as far. All right, if there are no questions, we're gonna start in just under 10 seconds. So walk those feet nice and wide, stand tall, hinge the hips, push your knees out. 2, 1, here we go. Fire the glutes, stand straight up. Over, down, switch and stand. Very good. And you're using your upper body to keep that weight close to your center of gravity. So I don't want it swinging out away from you. Hold it in close. Fire the glutes. Very good. Long spine, standing tall, hinging over. Beautiful. That's 30 seconds. Got another 15 if you're going the whole time. Over and up. Beautiful. Let's get one more in there. 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Either keep your weight there, roll it out of the way. Step overs or lateral hops next. 2, 1, and here we go. As you lift your knee, lift your toes. So knee comes up, I lift my whole foot. I've got that imaginary hurdle. Good time to check in with your posture as well. I can even notice myself, I kind of start to come forward a little bit. So pull yourself tall, stack those shoulders over the hips. Breathe. Beautiful, that's 30 seconds if you want to rest there. It'll be 30 seconds till we go back to those deadlifts, or we'll work for another 10. That's the way, and 2, 1, and rest. Good job, 15 seconds. I'm gonna do one more cycle of that. So you do the same weight or a different weight. Walk those feet out nice and wide, long spine, send the hips back, and here we go. Think about moving with control, especially on the down. That's a good time to build some strength in your ligaments and tendons. Long spine, straight up, and hinging over. Wonderful, very nice. That's the way, good. That's 30 seconds. Over and out, straight up, down. Let's get about one more each arm. And rest. Very good. Either step overs or lateral hops. If you want to start early, you're welcome to it. Otherwise, 3, 2, 1, lateral step overs, or lateral hop should be nice and low. Make sure your knees are in good position. Sharon, not far. You're not, it's just like you're skiing. So don't try to jump for distance. There you go. That's better. And make sure your knees are diving in just a little bit. So knees out. Good, Diane. Knees nice and high on those step overs. Fantastic, that's 30 seconds. Super, 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Good job there. All right, water. We'll do a couple stretches before our final circuit. All right. Let's go ahead and bring it down to the floor for these next stretches. I'm going to come to a seated position. Extend one leg out in front. You can also sit in a chair if you'd like. We're going to do the glute stretch in figure 4. A little bit of a spinal twist first. Hugging that leg in, sit tall, look over your opposite shoulder. There you go. So we'll go 20 seconds here. See some of you kind of just getting into position. I didn't give you a lot of time to grab water. And as you're coming to that twist, if you can work a little bit deeper, feel free to use your non-working hand to stretch yourself around. Peer over that shoulder. Let's go one more nice deep breath here. And relax. Very good. Same thing other side. Extend that leg. Pull the knee up and across. Sit tall through that spine. Hug that leg in. And then just start to look over the opposite shoulder. Again, as your body feels, go a little bit deeper into the twist or just continue there. Let's go 2 more nice deep breaths. And relax. Fantastic. Next, we're going to go figure 4. You can either stay seated and put the foot here and walk the foot up or onto your back. And we're going to take the foot to the opposite thigh. Hug the leg in, and now we're looking to open up that outer hip. And as you're doing this, you can extend the non-stretching side to wake up that sciatic nerve that runs along the back of the leg. Point the foot, lift the foot, bend the knee in, up and down about 3 times. Once more. And switch sides. All right, other side. As we're stretching this other side, I'll start telling you what we're getting ready for. So we're gonna have 30 seconds of each exercise. We're gonna have upwards of 5 rounds that you can work. It'll be just over 10 minutes of work. Starting with the squats. You can do a weighted squat or unweighted. It'll be 30 seconds of a squat. I'm gonna be holding dumbbells, 1 in each hand. And then we'll have about 10 seconds rest, or you can always transition sooner. Let's hug both knees into the chest. After the squat, we're going to be doing our weighted march or just a stationary march, 30 seconds there. And then we're going to do either a bent over row or a band pull apart. Okay, so that's why I kept our deadlifts to 2 rounds today, because we're going to have another option for some hinging and some back strength in this last piece. And then our 4th circuit is either a 30-second rest break if you want to give yourself a nice full rest, or you can join us for some step jacks or jumping jacks as like an active rest. And if you're not quite familiar with these exercises, just follow me through the first round. Just kind of being patient with it. I'll talk you through it as we go, and we'll just move from there, okay? The one I do want to tell you, because you'll have options, I'm going to show the bent over row. But if you don't want to get into a bent over position, if you have a band, grab your bands. You can do some band pull apart. So it's going to be a back exercise. So this would be our 3rd one of the circuit. If you don't want to do the bent over row, grab your bands and do some pull aparts. Shoulders back and down, opening the chest. Okay. And if you don't have bands and you don't want to do the bent over, you can just pretend you have a band where you close the hands and open, squeezing those shoulder blades back. The bands just give some resistance. Okay. All right. We're going to start in 30 seconds with our squats. So if you're still down on the floor, make your way up. And like I said, we're going to have 5 rounds of this. So if you don't feel quite ready, just wait till you do. You can also squat to the chair or without weight. So set the feet about hip width apart, 5 seconds. If you're using weight, I like to hold them up at the shoulders. 2, 1, here we go. Sinking back. Stand smooth. Good job. And I oftentimes will emphasize our pacing here. Too often in fitness classes, I've seen people, they'll just tear out, move as fast as they can, and they hit that wall. It's really hard on our hormonal system. So we want to pace ourselves, build up that intensity, or look to maintain the intensity. Let's get about one more. 2, 1, transition. You can either keep these weights or change it out for something. Marching is next. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Knees up. Either stationary or moving around your space. I'm choosing what we call the goblet style march here, where I'm holding the weight up at the chest. We call it a goblet squat or a goblet position. I first learned it as a squat, so sometimes that just comes out. Almost there. And 3, 2, 1, transition. Good job. This is where you'll grab your bands or you'll join me for the bent over row. Slight bend in the knees, bowing forward, hold your weights into the chest. You can have a weight in each hand, or I'm just holding one on each side here. So strong midline, elbows high, reach forward, up and squeeze. Nice. Good. Diane, on those pull aparts, have your arms extended the whole time. So long arms, reach out in front. Yep, try to keep those elbows straight. And 3, 2, 1, and rotate. Good job. So either take 40 seconds rest or join me for some step jacks or jump jacks. If you want longer rest breaks as well, if you're building into this, join us for every other round. And while that's happening, I wanted to show Diane. So what I mean, straight arms, and then open with the arms straight instead of bent elbows. So extend them out and keep the elbows straight the whole time on the pull aparts. All right, back to those squats in 5, 3, 2, 1. That looks better. Yep, and here we go. Round 2 if you're with us. Breathing and moving here. Good, steady state. Focus more on that quality range of motion. So taking your time, finding where your bottom position is. Good, 10 seconds. Midline strong. 2, 1, rotate. Getting ready for that weighted march. Change weights are the same. Here we go. Chest up, eyes up. Very good. As we did with those lateral step overs, as we lift the knee, lift the toes halfway. Almost there. 2, 1, and rotate. Very good. I'm going to show the band pull aparts, but remember, this is your bent over row for those of you going there. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So pull aparts can also be done standing. There you go, Diane. Yep, reach forward, arms straight. Keep them straight. Pull those shoulder blades together. Beautiful. Reach and squeeze. Good. Sharon, you're a little bit rounded in your back. So if anything, stand tall, get back into position. Good. Almost there. That looks better, Sharon. Good adjustment. And 3, 2, 1, transition. Either rest or your step jacks, jump jacks. We've got 35 seconds till we start. Set 3 already. Woo! Great job, everybody. Good time to just dance around as well, especially if you all are playing some of your own music, enjoying it. All right, just over 10 seconds, and we'll start set 3. Again, either using the same weights or change it up throughout, or back to our squats. Feet just outside the hips, slight toe out. 2, 1, here we go. Down and up. Good breathing. Very good, ladies. And if there's any gents on the recording. 10 seconds left. Fantastic. 2, 1. Get ready for that weighted march. Nice deep breaths. 2, 1. And here we go. And if you need a little bit more recovery, do the march without weight. You can set the weights down, give your body a break. Good job. Halfway through this one. Beautiful. Knees up, toes up. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Pull apart or bend over row next. Bend over row, people. Toes just in front of the hips. Toes ahead. Slight bend in those knees. Here we go, folks. Flat back. Core strong. Yep. And I'm staring at the screen here, but ideally we want to be looking straight down between the hands. Those doing pull aparts, you want to be looking straight ahead. Arms straight the whole time. Reach them out in front. That's better. Good. Squeeze. Reach. In and hold. And rest. Beautiful. That's the end of 3. Either active rest or full rest. Beautiful. 30 seconds till we start set 4. Nice job. 15 seconds. All right, everybody. Second to last time through. Back to our squats. Remember, feet just outside the hips, slight toe out, and here it is. Reach them back, stand in with confidence. Still having control on the bottom, meaning I don't want you to just drop down there and bounce. I want you to stay engaged. If you feel any tension in your low back, don't go quite as deep. Almost there. 2, 1. Get ready for the carry. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go, marching it out. Nice job. Halfway through. Continue to keep those shoulders over the hips. And 2, 1, transition. Either band pull aparts or bend over row. Walking the feet in, whichever one you do. Toes straight ahead on this one. Slight bend in those knees. Here we go. Squeeze those elbows in. Squeeze those shoulder blades back and together. Good. 10 seconds. And 2, 1, relax. Beautiful. That's the end of set 4. Either active rest or total rest. Woo! 30 seconds till we start set 5. Try to get everybody together. Beautiful. And we'll end with a few stretches. Nice. 15 seconds rather. One more time through those squats. All right, let's go ahead and get into position. Toes just outside the feet, just outside the hips, and begin. Gripping the toes down to keep the arch of the foot engaged. Knees are tracking over the toes. Heels firmly planted. Fantastic. That's the way, good. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and transition. Get ready for that march. If you want to go early, by all means. 2, 1, officially starting that 30 seconds. Knees up, toes up. Nice work. If anyone was cold at the start of the hour, I know I'm not cold anymore. 10 seconds left. We've done our job. Increase our blood flow, work on our range of motion, and rest. Bend over row or the pull aparts, your choice. Walk those feet in just underneath the hips. Long spine. Here we go. Especially because this is the end of the workout. Really key. Stay engaged in the midsection. Holding. Keeping that spine supported. Very good. Shoulders back and down. Try to squeeze those lower shoulder blades together. Let's get one more and hold. 2, 1, relax. Beautiful. All right, let's have everybody finish together here. 30 seconds. Either step jack or jump jack. Kind of flush the body. Wonderful. There you go, good. 20 seconds. And final 10. 2, 1, and give yourself a round of applause. Woo-hoo. Awesome job. Let's get some water. We're gonna start our cool down up on our feet, opening up the upper body. Nice work, everybody. All right, we're gonna go back to that stagger stance position. Tall lunge. Let's go your right foot forward, left foot back. Feel free to catch my breath here. Feel free to rest the left foot up on the heel. You're gonna reach your left arm up, ribs down, chin in, bend that elbow, grab the elbow. We're gonna do our tricep side bends here from this stagger stance position. So feet are hip width apart, bending to the side, between 3 and 5. About one more. And let's shake it out in between arms. Alternating the up arm, meaning which one swings on top. Palms forward as you're swinging back. Open the chest. Very nice. And then we'll pivot the other way. Kind of using the hip into it a little bit here. Reach your right arm up, chin in, bend the elbow. Try to let yourself cave forward here. So stay tall and then bend to the side. Breathe in and out. Couple more. Very good. Doorway stretch or wall pec stretch next. So if you have a doorway or somewhere you can pivot your arm, I'm just gonna walk right up to the side. So I've got my left side of my body against the wall. Hands gonna start about shoulder height. Walk those fingertips up so you have a nice outstretched arm, and then gradually start to walk them back behind you. From here, you can keep your feet parallel and turn away, or you can step your inside leg forward and then turn away there. Opening up through the chest. I even feel it a little bit into my bicep here with the hands flat against the wall. Nice deep breaths. And these doorway stretches are really good, especially if you tend to be tight in the upper body and have a little bit of that forward posture. So you can, coordinate these stretches with activities that you're already doing throughout the day. Let's walk the hand back, bringing it down, and we'll switch sides. So we all go to the restroom all day long. So when you go to the bathroom, you can even write a little sticky note, put it on your mirror or something, so that when you come by the doorway, you can just take a moment, pause, open up that upper body, or anywhere that your body kind of is talking to you. Utilize the stretches that we do here outside of class, or any other stretches that you enjoy and feel good for you. Let's go one more nice deep breath here. And then walk it back to the start. Nice job. And then quad stretch. Standing tall, grab the foot. This will be our last one. And as always, if you want to take a few more minutes to yourself, you can always go back to the floor and repeat some of those low back stretches that we did at the top of the hour. Bringing the legs side to side and what have you. Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
Go ahead and relax and shift legs. Lifting up out of the hip. Grab that opposite foot. And relax there. All right, everybody, fantastic. A little bit of some spinal twisting. Anything else that you feel like your body could benefit from? Otherwise, make sure you drink plenty of water. And hope to see you next time. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording. Get ready for that next session.